Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar on the Essilor See Change Challenge brought to you by NineSigma. My name is Casey Shapiro, and I will be your host and moderator for this webinar. Please note that this webinar is being recorded and will be transcribed for review on the challenge website at a later date. Let's briefly go through the agenda for the webinar at this point. First, we'll provide the speaker introductions. Then we'll provide an overview of the challenge with representatives from both Essilor and NineSigma. After that, we'll work through a live audience Q&A. To participate in that live Q&A, please submit your questions at any time through the Q&A chat box. We will collect and present these questions during the live Q&A section. If we don't answer your question live, don't worry. We will answer all questions asked during the session after the webinar and post them on the challenge forum in the transcription created from this webinar. Finally, we'll wrap up with the information on what you can do today for the challenge, including where to register, how to stay connected, and how to submit your proposal. So now I am pleased to welcome the following speakers to our webinar this morning. From Essilor, we have Jan Bavarigan, sorry, I totally practiced this, I swear, Bavarigan, Chief Mission Officer, Norbert Gorny, Chief Innovation Officer, Patricia Coe, Base of Pyramid Technical Manager, and then from NineSigma we have Josa Sinens, or Jos, Program Manager. So now for the challenge overview. What you might not know is that poor vision is the most widespread disability in the world. The Essilor See Change Challenge was created to develop innovative technical solutions to improve the lives of 2.5 billion people by facilitating access to vision care. Now I'll turn it over to now I'll turn it over to Jan to give us more insight on Essilor, their mission, and how they are working to combat poor vision across the world. So Jan,
so hello everyone. So hello everyone, this is Jayant here from Singapore. A quick word of introduction about us. We, Essilor, are world leader in ophthalmic optics, and we have a presence in over 100 countries. The group designs, manufactures, and markets an extensive range of vision care products and solutions. These solutions help to correct, protect, and prevent risks to visual health. And we have at any given point of time over a billion people who are actively using our products around the world. We are a very purpose-driven company, and our mission is to improve lives by improving the sight of everyone in the world. We believe that both through our mission and our reach, Essilor is a very truly unique company. But with our role as a leader comes a responsibility, and this is something which we take very, very seriously. Vision is taken for granted in many countries, but not everyone is fortunate enough to see clearly. Can we move to the next slide, please? Thank you. So we really face a big global public health crisis today, which is largely unrecognized, uncorrected poor vision. Out of 7.5 billion people in the world, it's estimated that about 2/3 of them, which is 4.5 billion, need some form of vision correction or other. And out of the 4.5 billion people, there are 2.5 billion of them who are uncorrected and cannot see clearly. And roughly 80% of this 2.5 billion people, which is 2.2, live in the developing countries. A recent study also estimated that by 2050, half of the world population, which is close to 5 billion, will become myopic. So poor vision has a lot of social consequences on a person's capacity to learn and work or simply enjoy life at its fullest. It also has economic consequences. A WHO report estimated that the global economy loses about 227 billion every year from lost productivity amongst adults who need eyeglasses. Or, put another way, good vision is a force for positive global change. Several of the UN's 2030 Sustainable Development Goals, such as quality education and reduced inequalities, depend on seeing clearly. But a report recently published by the World Economic Forum showed that in 2015, only $37 million or 2 cents per person were invested to solve poor vision, which is less than 1% of the resources allocated to address the other global health and developmental issues such as river blindness, malaria, access to clean water, and energy. This is shocking when you consider that a simple solution exists that can solve 80% of the vision problem, a pair of glasses. And there is also a public health issue that could be eradicated in one generation if everyone from governments to NGOs to private organizations to multilateral agencies work together with single-minded dedication to solve this problem. Can we move to the next slide, please? So it was about 3 years ago that we took the decision in Essilor to organize ourselves and accelerate our efforts to tackle this issue and to create partnerships that can enable us to help move the needle and improve access to vision care for all. We've created several new initiatives to help raise awareness about importance of healthy vision and to improve access to eyeglasses, both for the underserved populations through our inclusive business initiatives and for the very, very needy through our philanthropic initiatives. Today, we have teams in 13 countries who are inventing new inclusive business models and partnering with local NGOs for giving programs that together provide affordable or free vision correction to people in over 35 countries. We have been scaling up our activities since 2013 and are proud to have just reached the milestone of 3 million people equipped with first-time eyeglasses over the last 3 years. 85% of these 3 million people were able to buy these glasses thanks to one of our inclusive business models. We've learned a lot in the last 3 years. Mostly, we have seen that the key cause for lack of vision correction is the lack of skilled vision care workers. So many models focus on partnering with local organizations to help train primary eye care workers and equip them with skills to successfully build their vision care business. Primary eye care workers are trained to carry out basic eye screenings or refraction to provide basic vision correction to the underserved and the needy. They play a vital role in providing vision care to their local community and helping the community enjoy better well-being and prosperity. But there is a key challenge that's holding them back today and holding the world back from eradicating poor vision. Next slide, please. And over to you, Norbert.
There.
Thank you so much, Dan. Norbert and Patricia, thank you.
Okay, thank you. This is Norbert speaking from Paris. So why do we have this grand challenge and why have we invited you to participate? We already work with more than 100 external partners to deploy new business models and to find better solutions for those in need of vision correction. Now, for helping those being still uncorrected, we need new types of partners to build and deploy innovative technical solutions that will help to move the needle for the 2.5 billion that were mentioned before by Giant. The See Change Challenge will help us to accelerate the development of groundbreaking products, which will be essential for solving a severe and complex social problem, which is poor vision. Essilor wishes to reach beyond its existing networks and connect with the global community of scientific and technical experts to discover new solutions that can be adapted or co-developed or, in a best case, immediately implemented to serve the specific needs explained before. Solution providers, innovators are able to win prize money, to achieve visibility for their ideas, and of course to create new opportunities for them and for others in the future. Essilor seeks proposals for low-cost, mobile, easy-to-learn, easy-to-use, and scalable solutions that enable measurement of eye refraction errors. So the most successful innovations will be used to reverse the growing trend of poor vision and improve the quality of life of millions of people living in underserved regions of the world. So this challenge is the opportunity to solve a public healthcare crisis within one generation if together we can uncover the right technology and deploy it in the shortest possible time. Next slide, please. I would like to take a little time to explain the role of refraction and what refraction actually means in vision care, but also pointing out the current limitations that we see. So any image or object that we want to see sharp needs to be exactly projected onto the retina. Consequently, the power of the lens is the decisive element in the optical pathway. So an object not being projected on the retina will therefore not be seen as clear, but as blurred. The degree of myopia or hyperopia depends on how far in front or behind the retina the focal point is. In the end, the objective of a refraction method is to measure the power of a lens that allows to focus the image on the retina. And this is what actually any innovative solution in this challenge should deliver. We currently search any possibility, any idea or technology that performs this kind of function well. Moving on to the next slide. Finally, if we look at the technical solutions that are currently in use, we can differentiate between two principal ways of measurement: the objective and subjective refraction. In an objective refraction, the patient does not play an active role. The technical principle foresees the detection of an image or a wavefront which is modified following refraction. The eye is illuminated, and the practitioner or the instrument observes and analyzes the light which is reflected back. Thereafter, the optical power of the lens can be calculated. Subjective refraction, on the other hand, requires the subject to take an active part. So the patient can try the correction he or she needs because the practitioner modifies the power of a trial lens. So during this session, the patient feeds back the perceived improving or worsening visual acuity, and thereby the correction power can be determined. Predicated on the different nature of measurement, the results of objective and subjective refraction may vary. So we are interested in all types of measuring technologies, be it subjective or objective, that can provide a solution to the problem that we want to solve. Even if data received from a subjective refraction is considered more reliable to determine what a patient really needs, as a consequence also to make a really suitable lens, objective refraction is very useful for determining the type and degree of refractive error, mainly for young patients and those patients who have poor communication skills. So to summarize, whatever type of technology is available for subjective objective refraction methods is welcome as a contribution in this challenge.
So Patricia, I believe we're going to go ahead and push it over your way. Okay, Patricia, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, thank you, Norbert. So the challenge is open to all levels of solution. It can be full, or if you have a partial solution that can potentially solve part of the process of the problem, we welcome it too. The proposed solution can be pure software, such as based on smartphone or other consumer devices, such as tablets, or it can be pure hardware, such as building a gadget or device, or it can be a hybrid of both, a software with an add-on hardware. In terms of connectivity, as a solution will be deployed in remote areas, it should work without being connected or at minimum connection that is only meant for data processing. In addition to the above, looking at solution to measure refractive error from wearers, Essilor is also interested in looking at solution that measures refractive error directly from lenses. Next slide, please. Here are the list of criteria for evaluation. Now, first of all, the solution has to provide measurement of different types of refractive error for all ages. It should be easy to use for both examiner and wearer. For examiner, it should require minimum training in usage. And for the wearer, it should be less user-dependent as possible, because some elderlies in the rural area may not understand the measurement process if it's too complicated, and it will impact on the accuracy. The solution should be portable and robust to withstand harsh environmental conditions such as bumpy road ride and dust. And it should be reliable and accurate. Now, ideally, we aim to match the final subjective output from the wearer, but if the solution is able to reach the accuracy of screening level, it is very good as well. The solution should be easy to handle and require minimum maintenance. And lastly, as our intention is to reach out and benefit to the maximum number of people, the solution must be easily scaled up, and therefore it has to be low cost in manufacturing large quantity. And I'll pass the next slide to Jose on the timeline.
Perfect. Thank you, Jan, Patricia, and Norbert. Like Patricia said, we are going to go ahead and send it over to Jos for his for the criteria and the timeline of the See Change challenge. Yes, okay. You're ready to go.
You hear me? Yes?
Yes, we're good.
On this slide you see the timeline of the challenge. You see that the challenge opened already on June the 30th, so it's already more than 2.5 months live now. Very important for all of you attending is the deadline of the submission. The closure of the challenge will be on October the 21st, 2016 at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's the time is applicable in Cleveland, Ohio. At that time, the website will close for all participants. So I advise you that you do not wait until October the 21st to submit the proposal you have in mind. Try to submit your proposal a few days before this deadline to avoid running into problems. Maybe your internet connection could be down or too slow, or many people are trying to enter the website at the same time. In case you enter into problems submitting a proposal, NineSigma is here to help you. My colleagues at the help desk in the Cleveland office are ready to assist with all your questions. But again, to avoid getting into problems, don't wait until the last day. Submit it a few days before the end of the challenge. Then the evaluation of the proposals will take place during the last months of the year, and by end of January, the winners of the phase 1 will be announced. The Essilor team intends to have selected 5 proposals that will go into the second phase. And we expect that the second phase winners will be announced before mid-2016. Next slide, please. So why should solution providers be interested? So the first opportunity is for you to contribute to this goal of solving this important public health issue within 1 generation. Then there is a challenge award itself. Essilor is prepared to award €25,000 in cash for each of the 5 best proposals that they receive. The 2 phase 2 winners will each receive €100,000. The total prize money being thus €325,000. Next to that, Essilor is also intending to negotiate collaboration agreements to further develop promising technology that is not yet fully ready for practical and wide-scale implementation. Next slide, please.
So thank you so much, Jos. We are going to go ahead and go into our live Q&A section. We have already received a number of really great questions. We want to encourage you to continue submitting all of your questions in. I wanted to just remind you that this is being recorded and we are going to transcribe all of these answers. So if we do have any additional questions that we don't get to live, we will make sure to get to them in that transcription. We are going to open it up to everyone who you've spoken to answer these questions at this time. So we have a number of questions right in the beginning that we want to provide or send over to Jos just about the actual submission process so that we can get that out of the way quickly. So the first thing we have, Joost, is what is the best way to respond?
Yes, the best way to respond is to first register yourself on the NineSight's website and make sure that you have an account on this website. If you have done that, you can go to the online proposal template. And the proposal template is, you have to use it to fill in all the information you want to share. You can also upload additional information such as attachments. So maybe you add an article that you think is interesting to prove your technology, or slides or pictures. Even a video web link can be added. Anything that you think will help you to get the interest of Essilor can be added on the website. Next.
Thank you so much, Joost. So the next one is actually going to go to Jan. So who is evaluating the proposals? Oh, I'm sorry, Essilor or NineSigma? Is there a page limit for the submission, and are participants from all over the world allowed? And I apologize, that's actually for Joost. Okay,
so on the limit, there is we should be clear and concise, so you don't have to write too much. So typically, a good proposal explains a method in a few pages. So maybe if you print it out as a Word document, you could have 4 to 5 pages. But as I said, you can also add extra information to highlight your proposal. The limit for adding information on our website is normally 10 megabytes. So if you have more than 10 megabytes of information, you should try to limit it a bit.
Great, thanks, Joost. So then, can you also provide that the answer to the who is judging question that was at the initial part of that question?
Yeah. So judging. So I will judge first the proposals. I will not judge it technically, but I will just see that everything is conform to the challenge rules. So most importantly, that the proposals are non-confidential. But then the Essilor has set up, or will set up, a team of jurors. I think it's about 10 people who will do the final evaluation, and they will choose the 5 winners for the phase 1.
Perfect, thank you, Joost. So the next question we have is about IP. Can you tell our attendees how exactly we handle the IP and how are they protected?
Yes, I already mentioned that that part of my job is to see that nothing is confidential in the proposals. So that's how your first line of protection. So you don't want to submit anything that is confidential. If you send in a proposal, you should focus on what you can measure. You can show test data that you generated. You can discuss an argument what you hope to achieve, but you do not reveal anything that is confidential. For example, you should not say exactly how you will set up your management system, or you should not mention the specifications of optical techniques that you want to use. You should focus on what you expect that these techniques will do for the challenge. Also, by participating in the challenge, you are not granting any intellectual property rights related to the content of your proposal. Is that enough?
Yes, perfect. Joost, thank you so much. Now we're going to throw it back to the Essilor team and JN. How does Essilor expect to benefit from the end solution? Is this device being developed with profitability in mind?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, that our primary interest is to unlock the potential and the needs of the 2.5 billion people today who are living at the base of the pyramid and were denied access to good vision care because there are no trained manpower. We feel that it comes as a part of our responsibility to these 2.5 billion people, and therefore that's our primary interest. Now, we do have inclusive business models with products at correct prices targeted at these BOP customers, and we hope that once this potential is unlocked and we can get the prescriptions of these people, they'll be able to afford to buy products from our inclusive businesses like they could buy from anyone else. But our primary interest lies in actually serving the people who don't have access to vision correction today.
Great, thank you, Jan. So So the next one, I believe, is for Norbert. What is the typical range of diopters, plus minus, for children in the age range of 3 to 6 years old?
So this is a pretty tricky question because that answer varies significantly by region and age, of course. So young kids are basically hyperops, and in some regions, if we take the European region, for example, there are very typical patterns that develop starting with the first 1, 2, or 3 months, where kids are around +1, then moving up to +2 by the end of the first year, and then meandering between 2 and 1 again. So this is a question that cannot be easily addressed, but if the question is focusing on what kind of range should be covered by the technology that we are actually searching for, I think it cannot be really narrowed down to kids only, but it should be universal and versatile in use for any, hyperop or myopic application.
Great, thank you. So the next one is going back to Jayant. If a simple design is found that can give near but not exact readings, is that still acceptable?
Yes, it could be, but although ideally we would prefer a design which could be as accurate as possible. But again, I wouldn't rule out the possibility of having a simple design which is near accurate, because then we could use it as a screening device and then complement it with a subjective refraction as well.
You don't want to answer?
Great, thank you. I'm going to throw this next one back to you, Jayant, as well. Is Essilor only interested in solutions that measure refraction of the eye, or are also in I'm reading verbatim, so I apologize. Let me go ahead and try and figure. Or also in solutions able to detect refractive errors from a direct measurement on the lenses?
I would say yes, although our primary interest is on measurement of the eye, but then if there are some people who already have glasses and there is no way they can find out what kind of power they are wearing and they wanted to replace them, so if there was a device which could measure or read off powers from their glasses, we would encourage that as well.
Great, thank you. So this is back to Norbert. What eye chart is most suitable for children?
So what is best practice for examining children is, of course, charts that show pics or drawings that are very easy to capture at a very early age. So of course nothing like words or letters is going to work. So drawings and pics is the answer.
Great, thank you. And then this is back to you, Norbert. When talking about determining refractive error, are we talking spherical equivalent or sphere and/or cylinder and/or axis?
So basically, we talk about refraction in far and near vision, and ideally all 3 parameters should be covered, which is certainly a challenge, talking sphere, cylinder, and axis. So if solutions are provided not covering all 3, I think we could live with great ideas around sphere and cylinder as well.
Great, thank you. And then this is back to Jan. Is the idea that a participant is going to propose, should that be addressed to help the primary health care workers, or could it be addressed towards the affected people directly?
Well, I would say that it should be addressed to the primary healthcare workers, because as much as technology that you can have, we really don't believe in self-refraction in that sense, and we believe that certain amount of basic training is required to administer a simple eye exam, even with a device like this. So our preference would be to be having devices addressed towards the primary healthcare workers, who in turn can measure the refractive errors of the patients in their own areas.
Hi, Jant. I'm actually going to follow up to that question with, what do you mean by primary eye care workers, and what's the difference with optometry?
Well, you know, optometry is defined by differently in different parts of the world. I mean, in the U.S., it's 4 years of studies after your graduation. In some, and which is really very technical and very evolved. In some other parts of the world, people with like a few months of training or a few years of training are also called optometrists. What we call as primary eye care workers are really people who are trained to carry out basic eye screenings or refractions and to provide basic vision correction to the underserved. The profession of optometry by itself covers not just basic vision correction, but it also has diagnosis and treatment of eye diseases and provision of contact lenses and more advanced vision care solutions. We're not looking at all that. We're just looking at providing basic eye care services and basic refraction. And that's what we call as primary eye care workers. More often than not, these primary eye care workers who are based in small villages and towns are attached to hospitals and or to optometrists. So when they face problems that they cannot solve or which they don't know, they divert them to the hospitals or the optometrists. So they take away the strain from the healthcare system by solving simple problems and only taking the time of the doctors and optometrists to look at more advanced eye care problems. So those are the primary eye care workers. These are called by different names. Could be vision technicians, vision guardians, and different things around the world. But basically, all of them do the job of performing a primary eye examination.
Great, thank you so much, Dan. I'm going to flip it back to Norbert. What kind of vision defects should we aim to measure? Only myopia and or hyperopia and or astigmatism and or presbyopia, or higher order defects as well?
So given the target population that we aim at with this challenge, of course, the 4 ones mentioned first, myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism, and presbyopia are, in focus. I would not go as far as to say that we aim with this initiative on the detection of higher order aberration, because we're not actually looking for, a technology like an aberrometer, because this is already covered, through many development partnerships that we have with leading industries or leading technology companies in the world. So given, the target that we have, a mobile, easy to use, easy to scale, a solution handy, my clear answer to this question is we focus on the first mentioned 4 and not on higher order aberration.
Great, thank you. So the next one is for Jan. Is Essilor looking for technologies specifically for the See Change challenge, or technologies that could be applicable to other aspects of Essilor's business?
Well, right now our focus is on the 2.5 billion people, and the technologies that we are looking at is for the See Change challenge, addressing the needs of the people who are uncorrected.
Great. So this next one's a little bit of a tactical question, but what does base of the pyramid mean in Patricia Koh's profile? So I'm guessing that could be either Patricia or Jan based off of the type of question it is.
Well, when you look at base of the pyramid, it's typically an expression that defines people who live below a certain level of income in different parts of the world and who are generally termed as poor, and who then are denied of certain basic facilities and healthcare requirements which they should normally have. And these people generally tend to be living in rural areas or in rural slums and poorer areas in the big cities, the favelas in Rio, or could be the slums in Dharavi in Mumbai, or it could be in the dormitories in China, etc. So generally, again, it's very difficult to quantify a common standard of earning around the world. People would say normally we would earn in terms of purchasing power parity about less than $2 or $2.50 a day. And those are the kind of people that we are trying to target.
Great, thank you. Just going to take a moment here to pause and quickly ask for people to continue to submit their questions. We've already received a number of really great questions in this live Q&A. We want to keep it going. We still have a number to keep a number to go, but we want to make sure that we get everybody's questions in during this live Q&A if we can. So with that in mind, we're going to move on to the next question. This one is for Norbert. Does having the idea already built, again, reading verbatim. So does having the idea already built into a working prototype affect the results of phase 1?
No, it does not. So we are actually open for any technology or idea that at least can be expressed as an idea, as it was introduced by one of my colleagues here in the talk. If you have an idea already advanced into a physical prototype, I think it might be a benefit at a later stage of this challenge. But for phase 1, I would not say it is differentiating positively. So be it just the idea or be it an advanced idea, doesn't make a real difference.
Great, thank you, Norbert. So staying with you, are you looking for precision and/or accuracy? Is 025D and/or 050D or 1D sufficient?
So basically, we are interested in any technology that can make it into almost any level of accuracy. So from precise refraction down to a very basic screening tool, I think all those ideas can make a contribution to overcome this challenge. So everything related to the determination or identification of an uncorrected refractive error will help us to provide good vision. So we are basically very open to this. We would not narrow down solutions by giving, hard, boundary conditions in terms of acuity or accuracy in diopters.
Thank you. So one more for you. Isn't cataract another important disease to detect in addition to the 4 already mentioned?
That is absolutely true. But in this kind of challenge, we are focusing basically on a population that is suffering, from the fact that they don't have access to any kind of exam or equipment at all. And since cataract is a well-known, phenomenon and disease, which is also in some markets like India, quite well served through the public health system, we think in the first place we would like to focus the attention and the interest of people on eye refraction, as we pointed out earlier. But if you have ideas that can combine, both the primary purpose of that challenge and also, reach out for cataract, patients, certainly we will be open to assess this, very seriously as well.
Great, thank you. I'm going to move back to Jan. Will Essilor own the patents to the solutions it discovers through this challenge?
I'll probably let Norbert answer that.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, so will Essilor own the patents to the solutions it discovers through this challenge?
So regarding the patents, actually in phase 1, we have absolutely no intention, to go into a kind of a negotiation where we talk about patents. By simply submitting a proposal and participating in this competition, third parties are not granting Essilor any rights to any patents or pending patent applications related to the technology described in their proposals. So Essilor makes no claim of ownership, at that point. Later on, if we, get into the following phases of the challenge, certainly, when it comes closer to commercialization, discussions will be, raising on patent and negotiation forms and cooperation forms as well. But for this first that we focus on today, certainly this is not part, of our interests to enter discussions like that.
Great, thank you, Norbert. So another one back to you. What type of technologies have already been tested by Essilor?
So we have been testing many ideas and many technologies, but as I said, we are working in a global network that has not yet been specializing on this kind of technology that we are currently looking for. So in constant search, we had looked at pure software solutions. We looked at software solutions with a piece of hardware attached, and we had also the assessment of pure hardware solution. Since we are not determining any of those as being the solution, we stay completely open to all type of technologies amongst those that I mentioned before, because they remain interesting, and we think the See Change challenge will help us to find solutions leveraging even the existing technologies, but maybe in a more simple, in a more pragmatic, and maybe in a more innovative way. So I think we have a pretty good overview of what's already out there, but to conclude, we are not yet totally satisfied for the purpose of this challenge that we talk about today with what exists already in the world.
Great, thank you, Norbert. And to add on to that, are there known technologies that are not of interest?
Well, there's a few things that go without saying. Technical solutions that are containing non-eye safe components, certain types of laser, of course, need to be ruled out immediately from the competition, as well as invasive solutions, so technologies or methods that need eye contact or contain chemical substances like eye drops. These things we would not consider as being part of the solution space that we would like to investigate.
Great, thank you, Norbert. So I believe this is back to Jan. Are you going to implement these solutions in developed markets?
Well, no, not really, because our interest right now is, like I said, to work in the markets which are underserved, and the 2.5 billion people is our primary target, and that's what we're going to do. But having said that, when you have innovation which comes in from the base of the pyramid, and if it opens up some interesting challenges to help our existing eye care practitioners and optometrists to do screenings or do anything which can help them to serve their patients better, well, I won't rule out the possibility, but that's really not the primary need at this point of time. Our focus is entirely on the 2.5 million people who are uncorrected and in the base of the pyramid markets.
I have one more for, I believe, Norbert. Will you repeat this challenge each year?
Well, we have actually no firm frequency for this kind of challenge, but since innovation is very much at the core of everything we do in Essilor, of course we are very open to these kind of formats. And I would say it depends on the purpose. I mean, there's more and more, questions coming up that need, different networks of innovators in order to resolve them. So I think it can be expected that our cooperation, will continue with open innovation formats in the future, but not on a regular annual basis. It is absolutely purpose-driven, like the purpose of the challenge that we discussed today.
Thank you so much. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we have one final question that we're going to ask live at this point due to time, and we're going to move forward with some of the follow-up information. So if anybody has any additional questions that they would like to have answered, please go ahead and submit them into the Q&A chat box, and we will, like I said earlier, include them into the transcription, even if they do come in after we've already closed out this actual live period. So I just wanted to let everybody know, thank you so much for your participation and for submitting these questions. We had a very lively Q&A. And let me give you this last final question. And this again is for Jos. Is the winning participant of phase 1 bound to proceed to phase 2, or is he allowed to opt out of the See Change challenge?
Okay, I will try to answer that. Maybe first saying that there is also something on the website, on the NineSigma website, next to the challenge summary, there is also a document that is called Terms and Conditions. It's an 8-page document, and some of the things that have been asked now, you can also read there. So people who will be asked, who will win phase 1, they will be invited to attend a meeting with the technical jury, either through video conferences or face-to-face, depending on where you are. So if you do not want to do that, you probably can still opt out. But if you are winning of the first phase, Essilor has the option or has the desire to go with you to the second phase, of course.
Thank you so much, Joost. So moving on to this conclusion that we have, just to provide you some extra information. What can you do today? So first, obviously, visit that NineSights Grand Challenge page, which is ninesights.ninesigma.com /web/Essilor. You can find that easily if you just go to the NineSights website and click the Grand Challenge tab at the top of the page. Register there to receive the updates, view the FAQs, and join that community. If you need help, we've mentioned this a few times on the webinar, but please reach out to the NineSigma Solution Provider Help Desk, which can be reached by email or phone, which you can see the addresses there. And then submit your proposal. As you said, make sure to try and do so prior to this date because it is a hard deadline of October 21st, 2016 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. To make sure that your solutions are ready and easily inputable so that once we get, or if you have any difficulties, you can reach out to us should you have that difficulty during the submission process. So I just wanted to thank everybody for their participation. This does conclude the webinar this morning. For additional information, we encourage you again to visit that challenge site. Make sure to again note that it's October 21st, 2016 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, one last reminder that the webinar was recorded and will be made available on that challenge site along with the transcript. Thank you everybody for attending and for that very lively Q&A, and thank you to our speakers for their time and expertise. We appreciate your time and look forward to receiving your submissions. Have a great day.